Okay, so I hope everyone can see my screen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so let's open our Revit. Okay, let's open our drawing Revit file test 7. Okay, so in last session we saw how to add the truss and how to modify the truss. So today we are going to see here beam system. Okay, so how to add the beam system. So before adding, I will just add a one framing here. So suppose if I go to here level 1, so yeah, here. So what I do, I will add here some column. So use the column family, and okay, I will use this 305 305. So suppose my one column is here, and then second column is here, and then third and fourth. Okay, so these are four columns. So it start from level 1 and end to level 2. Right. So you see in elevation, so you can see, right. So you can see I have added this columns. So and right now I want to add the framing here or the level 2 at the level 2. So if you go to say here floor plan, so here my all four columns, right. So suppose I want to add a beam here. Okay, so beam is start from this point to this point, then this point to this point, then this point to this point. Okay, and again I want to close this framing from this point to this point. Okay, so if you look at in 3D view, so this is my framing. Okay, and suppose I want to add the beam here, number of beams. So you don't need to add single beams. So you can add a number of beam in one command. So if I go to here level 2, okay, so if you see the elevation, so this is our level 2. So you need to go here, right click and say go to floor plan. So I want to add the beam here, number of beams. Okay, so you need to go here, structural, and click here beam system. Okay, so click on that, and if you see, so I'm not able to add any beam out of this framing. So if I move my cursor on this framing, so you can see, suppose my beam is parallel to long beam. Okay, long span beam. So you need to just move your cursor here, so you can add. Suppose I want to add the beams parallel to short beams, short direction beams, so like that. Okay, suppose I want to add this, so just click on that, so you can see, and escape. So you can see we have added the beams here. If I move my cursor again and select this, so this is as a beam system. Okay, you can change the size also. So for example, if you see in a 3D, so this is I beam, I section beam, but if you want to change, so you can change. So go to and select your beam system, and you can see here beam type. Okay, so you have option here. So suppose I want to add here SHS, means hollow, uh, hollow sections. Okay, so you can see hollow square section. So you can see we have change here. Okay, then suppose once you can, if you want to change the member size, so you can change. Then we have option here fixed distance. So right now by default here 18 to 8.8 distance here, so it's come here. Okay, suppose if you want to give some 1.5 meter. Okay, so you can see 1.5 meter fixed distance has split here. You have option here. Suppose if you want to add fixed numbers, suppose I want to add 12 numbers, so you can see 12 numbers is added here. Then if you want to add maximum spacing, suppose I want to give the maximum spacing 500. So you can see each and every 500 spacing member has been added. So if I check here, so this is 500, 493, almost 500 he has just added here. Okay, then if you go here again and if you want to change the size or spacing, suppose I want to make it 1 meter, so you can see it has been changed here. Okay, so you don't need to add each and single member here, so you can just add the beam here, structural beam system. Okay, then if you look at in 3D view, it looks like, right? If you check select this, so you can see, right? Suppose if your uh, framing is inclined, means this framing is inclined, this is high level and this is low level. So suppose if I select this column and this column, right? So if I select this, so top level is level 2, and suppose I want to stop below 100, this column, so it goes down. Okay, I will give the maximum more value, so it's a 200. So this is 0 and this is minus 200, so you need to change the elevation for this beam also. So suppose I want to add here minus 200, and okay, and here also minus 200. So you can see your beam system is also update here, so you can see. Okay, so if I cut a section, okay, I will just change this also here, minus 200, right? And this is also minus 200. Okay, so if I change the level, so our beam system also change here, so you can see, right? So this beam system is attached to this framing. Okay, initially if we add here, so if you go here and suppose if you want to add again beam system, click on beam system, and if you have framing, okay, so you can use this automatic beam system. Okay, you can't add without any framing here, so you need to add first framing and then you can add your you can use this option beam system and automatic system. Okay, other thing is sketch by beam system. So if you don't have any framing, so you can use these options. Suppose I want to go with that, right? So first option is boundary line, so you can add your boundary line. Suppose I will use the rectangular and this is my boundary line. Okay, and you need to give the beam direction, so your beam direction is parallel to long beam or parallel to short beam, so it's depend on your input. Suppose I want to give parallel to short beam. Okay, and say here okay, so you can see you have added all the beams here. So beam 305165, this is the size. If you want to change, so you can just click on this beam system and you can change. Suppose I want to add here HHS 203, so you can see the member has been changed. Suppose if you want to edit this again, so select your beam system and go to here edit boundary, and suppose I want to increase this span again and increase this and also increase this and say okay. So you can see this automatically update here, right? See, if you go with that fixed distance, you can go with fixed distance. If you go with that fixed number, you can go with fixed number. If you go the maximum spacing, suppose I want to give the maximum spacing here 1.2 meter. Okay, so it's modify here, right? So you can control this, just select, then give your inputs here, so it's automatically update. Okay, for example, again one more example, if there is some opening here inside this framing, so select and go here edit boundary. Okay, and suppose I want to add a opening here by using these tools, and suppose my opening is start from this point to this point and say complete. So you can see your beam is automatically cut here as per the opening location. You can modify the opening again, click here and go to edit boundary, and you can suppose I want to edit this, I want to minimize this opening and say okay. So you can see your beam system is updated as per the opening revised opening size. Okay, you can add any opening shape. Okay, for example, if I go again edit and say suppose my opening is here trapezoidal, circular, right? So or if any irregular shape like that. Okay, and say complete. So you can see all the beams has been cut here as per your opening location. You can modify this. Okay, so these are all beam systems. So if you want to add a number of beams with maximum number or with maximum spacing or with maximum what we'll say number spacing, then you have here option. If I select again, and you have option here maximum spacing, maximum number, fixed distance, clear spacing. Okay, so you can use as per your requirement and give your inputs here. Okay, so you can modify this beam system as per your requirement. If you want to change the beam direction, so you can change. So if you go again and suppose I want to change the beam direction, so click on the beam direction and suppose I want to change here and complete. So you can see all the beams has been changed as per revised beam direction. Okay, so these are all beam direction related. Okay, so you can use the beam system. Okay, so okay, then next one is okay. So before going that, suppose if you want to add a takeoff quantities, quantity takeoff, right? So for example, I will take one example here. Okay, so okay, so these walls we have already added. Okay, so what I do, I will go here level 1 and add some slabs here. Okay, so go to here structural floor and I want to add a slab here. So suppose this is my 20 meter by 12 meter or 13 meter one slab here. Then another I want to add again floor slab. So this is different slab with size. Go again, then structural, then floor, and then I want to add again one more slab. Right. So suppose this is okay to 300 thick slab. Okay, but make sure I will just assign the same material. So I will check here edit type, go to edit, and by category instead of category I will assign the material here. Cast in place gray. Okay, so this material I want to assign here and say okay, and you can just copy and control C and okay. Okay, so if you see in 3D model, okay, so these three slab here, then similarly I want to add some beams here, concrete beam, because I want to create a takeoff, okay, for this concrete. So for just example, I will just add this beam, then this beam, what is the size, 300 by 600, then again from this point and to this point, okay, like that. Okay, and you can just trim this. Make sure the material for this beam is also same. Yeah, cast in place gray. Okay, then similarly I want to add a column here, column, concrete column 300 by 450. So just add column here, right? And make sure your column uh, material is also same. Okay, so these are all my steel material. Okay, so we can add this wall also, but I want to change the material. Cast in place gray. Okay, so I want to create a takeoff for this concrete, these beams, then concrete columns, and then concrete slabs, and then concrete walls. So how to create? You need to go here view, and click here schedules and say material takeoff. Okay, so in our takeoff list, we have slab, we have column, we have beams. So I will go with that multi-category and say here okay. Then first of all, you need to add your type. Type means your beam, column. Okay, add here. Then I want to go here type name. Okay, so I will add here name, material name. Sorry, material name, because I have assigned the material name. Okay, so here is the material name. Then I want to assign the material volume. Okay, on the basis of that, I can create a or I can get the volume of full concrete. So we have option here material volume. Then add. Then suppose if I click here, okay. So you can see generic 200 thick slab here over there, right? So the volume is 1 point, sorry, 15 meter cube here, but the steel material is also added here. So what I do, I will just filter here. So I will add the concrete material as a filter. So if you click here edit, click on filter and click here filtered by. So suppose I want to give here material name. Material name equal to cast in concrete place gray. So I have assigned the material, this material concrete cast in place gray for concrete, and I want to take out material take out quantity, take out quantity for the concrete and say here okay. So you can see only concrete material, concrete what will say members here. Okay, then suppose I want to go here sorting. So you can see 200 is thick slab here, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So these are all, I think these are all walls here, and this is slab, 300 thick slab. Okay, and these are all columns and beams here. So suppose I want to opt this option, itemize every instances. Okay, so if you go again, yeah, so here sort by type and say okay. So you can see here 300 by 450. So this is I think our column, and this is beam, and this is slab, and this is wall. Okay, but okay, so grand total we are not able to see. Okay, so what I do, I will add again this itemize every items. So then you can see here total quantity. Okay, so 300 by 450, how much you can calculate here. So these are all here. Okay, so one more thing, we have one more option. Okay, so you can see the which. Okay, for example, if I select this slab, right, and what I do, I will just add a type comments. So this is my slab. Okay, so I will add here slab. Okay, slab. Then say apply and okay in type comments. So similarly, we have added at only one family, so automatically added at all locations. So same thing for walls. I will add here type comments as a wall. Say okay. Then same thing in column. Go to here edit type and type comment. I will add here column, right, and say okay. Then in beams, oops, sorry, I think this is beam, not a wall. Beam, and say apply and okay. Similarly for wall, in type command I will add here wall. Okay, and say apply and okay. Right, so I have added all this thing here, and if you go again in scheduling, so go to here schedules. Where is your schedule? Here in schedule category. Okay, in project browser, in if you go down here schedule tab, schedules and quantities, so your file is here. So just double click, and you can add here, go to the fields, and what I do, I will add here type comments. So in type comments, I have given the slab column name. I want to add the type comments here and say OK. So you can see these are all columns, these are all beams, and these are all slab and walls. If I try to itemize, so I am not able to see the total. Okay, let's say I will check here titles and totals. Okay, so material volume is not able to. If I click on sorting, itemize, so I will check again. So total only show here. Okay, so if I again click here, itemize, so you can see. Okay, so this is our quantity here. So you can just place this value in Excel, so you can get the total volume. Okay, so 300 by 450. How much? Up to here, right? So 0.34 into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 into 9. So you can get the total concrete volume for 300 by 450 column. Similarly for beam, so you can calculate total volume. Okay, then if you know the rate, so you can add the rate also. Okay, so for example, this column point okay, so if you go here, so 0.34 meter cube, how much rate? So you have option here. Okay, so select this column, go to here, edit, and you have one option here, rate means cost. Okay, so you can add suppose 1500. Okay, so you can add your as per your requirement and say apply and okay. And if you go again, and you need to add a cost field, so click on this field and type C, so you can see the cost and just add and say okay. So you can see this cost is appear here. Okay, similarly you can add the cost per 3.8 meter cube for this beam, so you can add the cost table, cost field here. Okay, in this table, then you can calculate your total volume, total cost, total volume. Okay, so you can get the takeoff for each and every concrete material, but you need to just assign the same material. Similarly for steel also you can get here. Okay, so for example, if I add here filter, so in filter type material name equal to concrete, so instead of that I will assign this material metal steel and say okay. So you can see only HHS, and you need to assign the same material for all steel members, so you can get. And again, we need to just go here fields, then filter, you can add the filter, then you can use the itemize, then you can get the total volume. So similarly you can just change again, and you can see the concrete volume. So you can create a Excel and just add all those value, you can get the total volume of the concrete, right? So these are all things regarding takeoff quantity for the concrete material or steel material. Okay, so next one is, okay, so next if you go again structural, so we will see here rebar. Okay, how to show the rebar in 3D. For example, if I go here level 1, okay, so what I do, I will add a one footing and column. Okay, I will go here level 1 and say go to floor plan. Okay, I want to add a column here. Okay, structural, and I want to go with the column with size, okay, 400 by 450 by 600, and I will keep here, place here. Then I want to add the footing. Okay, isolated footing, so we have option here, so select, and whatever size is available I want to go with that, right, like that. So column is start from level 1 to level 2, and offset is 0. Okay, and if you see your foot column and footing, it looks like. Okay, if you go here, where is that? We need to check in other elevation. Yeah, you can see this is our column and this is footing, right? Then if you go again in plan, so what I do, I will cut a section here, right? I want to cut a section in a column and footing. Okay, and if you go to say view, so this is my section. Suppose I want to increase the scale 1 to 25. Okay, so this is my footing and this is my column. Suppose I want to add the reinforcement here. Okay, so you need to go in section. So if you want to add a reinforcement, you need to go in section. So what I do, I will just hide this hatching. Okay, so cut pattern and sorry, not cut lines, cut pattern and untick this visible option. So you are not able to see the hatching. So I want to add the reinforcement here. So you need to go here, rebar, click on that. Okay, so rebar shape definition will include the hooks and will ignore end treatments. There is option. Okay, if I say okay, so you can see this is by default library is loading here. So Autodesk has created some by default shape code here. So if you see here, so straight bar is 0, then 180-degree bend both side is 0 1, then 90-degree bend is 0 2. Okay, so I want to add this L bar. So if you working on some standard BS code 8666, so they have create the separate library as per their own setting or own shape codes. Okay, so similarly for US, there are also different shape code. So these are all by default. Okay, so if you're working on this standard library, so you need to buy these add-ins. Okay, in this Revit, but you need to just purchase. So by default, right now here, just they have just given by default library here, so you can use this. Okay, so suppose I want to add the L bar here, so click on that. Once you click, so if you move your cursor, so you can see L bar is added here. So all those covers and all those setting you can control from here. Okay, if you go rebar and say okay, then you have option here. Okay, replacement. Yes, so I will check here. Okay, so this is our library. Okay, so if I add this, okay, so you can see this reinforcement is added here. Okay, so if you go again, okay, I will check where is the cover and all those things. Yes, shape loads, then okay, so you can see this bar is added here, so it's automatically added as per the boundary here. Okay, so I will check where is this. Okay, so these are all different types of shape codes you can see from here also. Okay, then I want to see these three. Okay, I think cover is not loaded is properly. Okay, so if I select this, okay, so if I select this, so again here rule here single. So if you want to add single, so you have option here fix numbers. Okay, so for example, I will just go to the plan. So in this footing, what is this footing size is 1.8 meter minus two side cover and then adding your reinforcement. Okay, so if you go again in section, suppose I will select this and instead of single, I will give here maximum spacing and I will add here spacing 200 center to center. And then if you check in your 3D, so if I select this, okay, so you can see this bar has been added here. Okay, so if I select and what I do, I will just increase the transparency so we can see our reinforcement. So select both and go to element and you have option here. surface transparency. So I will increase this 72% and say apply and okay. So you can see your reinforcement here. Where is that? Yeah, here. Right. So you can see we have added the reinforcement. Right. Similarly, you can add the top bars. Right. So go to here, rebar. Right. Or I will just check. Yeah. So instead of this, I will use the 17 bars. Okay. So what I do, I will delete this and click here rebar and select here OK. So instead of 02, I will use the 17 numbers of. So it's cut to cut from top to bottom. So I will add here above and below, right? And escape. So if you look at in your 3D, so you can see this bar has been added here. Okay, I will just minimize the scale. Okay, and I will set here fine instead of fines, medium, then coarse. What is the lines here? Hidden lines. Oops. Fine. Then okay, realistic. I will go with that. Okay, so if I select, okay, and select this, right, and you can change this size. Okay, so I will go with that maximum clear spacing. So I will go with that maximum clear spacing 200, right? So you can see one more thing. We have option here, edit type. Yeah. So if I click here deform, so instead of deform, I will just set a plane. No, no. So okay, I will just check here. Okay, so you can see here spacing, number of bars, and all those dimension A and C dimensions. Okay, I have one more option, so you can see your reinforcement as per actual. Suppose if I check click here, so what is the 13 dia? So you can see the 13 dia here. Okay, so okay, I will check how it's. Okay, yes, so select 90 ting. Okay, I will check here. So this is course. No, fine. Okay. Okay, I think one more option. I will check here edit type. Then plain no here no. We haven't here option. Okay. Okay, I will check. Yeah, in section you can see here actual dia actual bar dia here. So okay, okay, I will check in elevation. Soon hook and none. Okay, so fine. Then medium. Okay, just fine. And yes, you can see here actual dia. What is the diameter here? If I measure this, so this is 6. Yeah, almost. If you want to check, change the dimension diameter, so you can change. Suppose I want to go with that 16. So you can see change here, right? Like that. We have one more option here, but I can't get here now. Okay, we'll check here again. Shaded. No. Medium. Okay, shape code and shape is 17. Yes. So if you click here, view visibility, right? So add this 3D and click on this and say okay. It's not working again. I will just set here fine. Okay, so I think go to here edit south elevation analytical. I will just on this again. Yes. So we have option here view as a solid. So click on that and say fine. Yes. So you can see your bar is looks in 3D. I will repeat this. So select this bar, both the bar top and bottom, and click here view visibility, right? And click here 3D means in 3D view. I want to see this reinforcement, not a single line. I want to show the view as a solid. So click on that and say okay and set your fine. So you can see this reinforcement we have added in 3D, right? So you can add. Similarly, you can add a section in this direction for opposite reinforcement. So add again this section and say go to view. Okay, and I want to add the reinforcement in this direction. So same thing, you need to go rebar and you can add here rebar, right? But this rebar, okay, I will just change again this fine. So you can see your actual rebar, right? So you can just move below because this reinforcement is sit below. Okay, so what is the diameter here? Okay, I will make it fine. Diameter is 13 mm. So what I do, I will just move by 13 mm below, right? And also, if you select this and say edit sketch, so you can just adjust this dimension as a just you need to just minimize this 13 mm and you need to give the up to the cover and say okay. And then if you see in your section, so you can see we have added this bar here. Similarly, you can just click here edit view visibility and just add here 3D view as a solid. So you can see this member has been added. Then same thing we need to assign here maximum spacing, not a single. See, select this bar, go to here properties and go to here layout rule and I will add here maximum clear or spacing here. So I will give here 200. So you can see we have added other direction reinforcement also. Go again section. So once you add a top reinforcement, you can just mirror it. Okay, exactly center point of this your footing. And if you go here, so you can see bottom bar is also added here, but you need to change the visibility and add 3D solid, right? So you can see. Okay, so if I change this realistic, so you can see your reinforcement looks like. Okay, similarly for this column, you can add here. So for the column, you need to go in plan and click here rebar. So I want to add the link here. So you need to search link shape code. So this is rebar T1 M underscore T1. So move your cursor inside. Okay, so we need to cut a section here also. So go to plan and I want to cut section through this column. So add one section here in section, right? And I will set here and you need to rotate this section mark. Select and rotate this by 90 degree. Okay, and just move this section. Okay, and say go to view. So this is your column. Oops, where is column? Okay, where is column? Okay, I will just change the fine. Okay, so yeah, I will just minimize this up to here and this range up to here. Right, and say go to view. What is this? Resection. Okay, I will hide this. There is column. What is this? Oops, this is beam. So okay, I will just change the curve scale here. Okay, I will move down this one. Okay, okay, I will check again and say go to view. Yeah, so this is your column, right? If I increase this range up to here, so you can see the footing also. Okay, so you can see this footing, you can see. If I minimize this range up to column only, so you can see this is your column. I don't want to show any hatch inside this column. So you can just go to here cut pattern and tick visible and say apply. Okay, and I want to add the links here. So click on rebar. You select your shape code as per your requirement, and then you can just add. You press the space bar as per the where you want to look hook location. Suppose I want to add here. Okay, so just click. If you go to your 3D view, so you can see these links has been added here. So you can just go again and click here view visibility and just add on view as a solid. So you can see viewer links has been added. Then same thing you need to select and you need to assign the layout rule maximum spacing. Maximum spacing, suppose I will go give here 150. So you can see links has been added here. Okay, so if you go to the section again, so you can see links has been added. Similarly, you can add the vertical bars for this column. Okay, so go to again rebar, choose L bar here from here. So where is the L bar? Okay, so you can use this L bar 17A. So click on that and then you can add here. So press space so you can see hook is below. Then you need to modify this. Okay, so you need to calculate what is the length up to here. Okay, so if I calculate this, so this is 450, right? So if you see here, this bar is right now here 503. So you can calculate here calculator 503. Okay, so you need to extend below this. Okay, so 503 minus suppose 50 cover minus 2 bar dia 30 30 26. So 427 you need to extend. So you can just add reference plane 427, right, and then add from this point below. So it comes here, right here. Then you need to just click on that bar, go here, edit sketch. Okay, we have given the dimension, so it's delete, and you can just align this. Okay, and after that you can just trim it and complete, right? You can see. So if you look at in 3D view, same thing, you need to select this bar, go to here visibility, then add your 3D, so the solid. So you can see this bar, oops, sorry, this bar has been added here. Okay, so if you go on plan, so here, yeah, so this bar will be here, right? here, if I select this, you can rotate this hook, you can go here. So select and say here place, and exactly here, and I want to give this leg outside, right? So if you select this, so what is the diameter here? 13. So if you want to check 25 mm, so you can change, and then you can just move here. Okay, so disjoin, and you can just add here. Okay, similarly, once you add, you can just mirror here, right here, and you can mirror again opposite direction, like that. Okay, so you can see. Then if you look at in your 3D view, so again you need to change, select, then select and select, and go to the visibility, sorry, visibility, and add here 3D view as a solid. Okay, so you can see we have added vertical bars. Okay, so this is small example, column and footing reinforcement. So you can take beam also, wall also, and you can add the reinforcement in 3D. Okay, so if you want to get the dimension, so click on that and you can get all dimension. So A dimension, B dimension, C dimension, all the dimension you can get here. So here only A dimension here is 0, and then B and C dimension. So 3.3347 is long length and 520 is your cog length. Okay, similarly, if I select this U bar, so you can see the B dimension and D dimension should be same, and B dimension is 1120. Okay, so you can find out the all dimension. Remaining dimension is not applicable here. So that's the reason they are showing is 0. Suppose I have select this link, so you can see B dimension, C dimension, D dimension, all dimensions shown here. Then G means your hook dimension. Okay, so all those things you can add here. Okay, so you need to just practice other element. You can take a beam, you can take a wall, and then add a reinforcement. Okay, so these are all for today's session. And so next session will be on 13th. So this session will be our last session. In this session, we will see how to coordinate with other discipline on Revit. Okay, suppose if you working on structural, what we'll say, I will just show you here in Paint. Okay, so suppose if you working on for structure, right, and some mechanical guys also working on mechanical, then electrical. Okay, so here is mechanical and here electrical. So we need to coordinate to each other. Okay, so suppose this is our structural model, and this is our mechanical, and this is electrical. So you need to accept this 3D model into our model, mechanical model, then electrical model. Okay, and we can just avoid the clashing with mechanical and electrical. Similarly, mechanical also accept our structural and electrical. Similarly, electrical also accept mechanical and structural. So we will see how to accept the Revit model. Okay, how to accept the AutoCAD model. Okay, in Revit, how to accept the Revit model in Revit file, and how to accept the AutoCAD file in Revit. Okay, so in next session we will see those things. And if you have any question, any doubt, so we will also see as in that session. So if you have any doubts or question on today's session, so you can ask.
सर कॉलम और बीम जहाँ ज्वाइंट होगा वो भी बता सकते हैं क्या कैसे करेंगे इसमें रेनफोर्समेंट में?
कॉलम और बीम सिमिलरली वैसे ही करना है ना, हमें हमने जो अभी ये ऐसा किया है ना, वैसे ही करना है।
नहीं
अब
सर, मैं ये पूछ रहा हूँ, मान लीजिए ई टैप से रिजल्ट आ गया मेरे पास में, तो
हम्म
स्टार्टिंग से स्टील देते हुए चल रहे हैं, तो फिर बीम में वो ऑटोमेटिक उस समय ले लेगा, उसमें कैसे दिखाएगा वो?
ओके, एक मिनट। अभी मैंने कॉलम का और ये इसका फुटिंग का एग्जांपल दिया है ना, वैसे ही
नहीं
करना है उसमें। एक मिनट, किधर गया मेरा कॉलम? सो बाकी की जो चीजें है ना, ये आपको भी करना है। ये अभी सपोज ये मेरा कॉलम है,
यस सर।
ये मेरा बीम है यहाँ पे 300 बाय 300 का। ओके, सो ये इसका क्या साइज है? 450। सपोज मैं इसका 450 करता हूँ। ठीक है, सो कॉलम का तो पता है आपको, ऐसे वर्टिकल बार जाएंगे। सो
यस सर।
इसमें क्या करेंगे, एक और सेक्शन निकालेंगे यहाँ से, कट करेंगे। ये हो गया हमारा बीम का सेक्शन। ठीक है, फिर इधर जाएंगे, सिंपल रिबार, उसमें लिंक सेट करेंगे। ये मेरी लिंक्स आ गई, मैं डाल दूंगा इधर। जैसे हमने वर्टिकल डाले कॉलम के लिए, इसको हॉरिजॉन्टल डालना है बस।
मैं सर केवल
ये था।
कनेक्शन पॉइंट की बात कर रहा हूँ, केवल कनेक्शन पॉइंट पे कैसे करेंगे आप? एलडी जो मैं देने की बात कर रहा हूँ, वो एलडी वगैरह कैसे?
यहाँ पे
हाँ सर, यहाँ पे।
एलडी, अच्छा, वो ओके ठीक है, मैं बताता हूँ इधर। न्यू, सपोज ये मेरा बीम है, ये मेरा कॉलम है यहाँ पे, ये मेरा बीम है, सिंपली सपोर्टेड बीम है। ठीक है, ये कॉलम आ गया। अभी अभी क्या करेंगे, ये मेरा टॉप का बार आएगा यहाँ से। ठीक है, ये मेरा टॉप का बार आएगा, सो ये यहाँ पे कॉलम में जाएगा। सो ये यहाँ से यहाँ तक एक एलडी रहेगा, डेवलपमेंट लेंथ। फिर ये भी यहाँ से यहाँ तक जाएगा कॉलम में एज अ डेवलपमेंट। कॉलम के रेनफोर्समेंट अलग रहेंगे वो उसमें, और लिंक्स हमारी यहाँ पे स्टॉप हो जाएंगी बीच में। ये हो गया मेरा टॉप का बार, और बॉटम का बार मैं ऐसे दूंगा, ऐसे। अगर मेरा बीम छोटा है, अगर बड़ा है तो मुझे टॉप का बार यहाँ पे लैप करना है, और बॉटम का बार सपोर्ट पे लैप करना है, टॉप का बार मिड स्पैन पे लैप करना है वो। और उसके बाद ये लिंक्स देना है यहाँ पे, सिंपल। और ये कॉलम के लिंक्स मुझे ये यहाँ से 50 mm तक स्टॉप करना है। फिर यहाँ से मेरे कॉलम के बार आएंगे, यहाँ से ये कॉलम के बार आ गए। ठीक है।
यस सर। और सर मतलब ये फर्स्ट फ्लोर पे अगर हम ग्राउंड फ्लोर पे कर ले रहे हैं, वो ऐड टू सिलेक्ट करके वो कॉपी करेंगे तो सब पे आ जाएगा ना, सारे फ्लोर पे?
सारे फ्लोर पे आ जाएगा।
ओके सर।
सर इसमें जो क्वांटिटी एस्टिमेशन वाला है टेक ऑफ
हम्म
का,
हम्म
तो सर केजी में आता है या वो भी डेंसिटी ही दिखाता है
वो
एमक्यूब में
मीटर
ही?
क्यूब में आता है, बाद में आपको कन्वर्ट करना है उसमें।
तो उसको सर हम लोग एक्सेल पे कैसे एक्सपोर्ट करेंगे, क्या ये सीधा इसी?
फिल करना पड़ेगा आपको, इसमें एक्सपोर्ट का कुछ ऑप्शन नहीं है। सो आपको मैन्युअली फिल करना पड़ेगा, ये कॉपी भी नहीं होगा ये एक्सेल में। ये आपको टेक ऑफ देगा इस पे, ड्राइंग्स पे। अगर आपने ड्राइंग बनाया है, सपोज ये मैंने शीट बनाया है,
हम्म,
न्यू शीट, सो उस पे आएगा, फिर आपको वहां से ये आएगा यहाँ पे। ठीक है, फिर आपको एक एक्सेल बनाना है, उसमें 350 बाय 450 का कितना है, उसका टोटल क्वांटिटी डालना है,
मैन्युअली हम लोग को करना
मैन्युअली डालना है, यस, एक्सेल पे। सो आपका तो काम थोड़ा बच गया है, क्योंकि ये टेक ऑफ कैलकुलेशन ये पूरा रेडी देता है आपको। अगर आपने मटेरियल नेम असाइन किया, सो उसके हिसाब से ये पूरा आपको क्वांटिटी देगा ये।
स्टील ऐड करने के बाद सर स्टील का भी आ जाएगा इसमें
स्टील का
सेक्शन?
भी आ जाएगा। स्टील में क्या करेंगे, कंक्रीट टाइप जो है, ये मटेरियल नेम है। ठीक है, सो ये मटेरियल नेम आप ये असाइन करेंगे। अभी मैंने ये बीम का मटेरियल देखा, सो ये देखो, ये स्टील 450, 445, 345, ये अगर आपने सेम मटेरियल असाइन किया सबको, सो सबका क्वांटिटी आ जाएगा।
अच्छा, उसका अलग जो है नाम लिख करके बट क्वांटिटी दिखा देगा सेम।
एग्जैक्टली यस। सो आप अलग जाएंगे यहाँ पे व्यू में, टेक ऑफ निकालेंगे, अलग निकालेंगे। इसका क्या करेंगे, इसको रीनेम करेंगे, इसको बोलेंगे आप कंक्रीट टेक ऑफ, कंक्रीट टेक ऑफ, उसको बोलेंगे स्टील टेक ऑफ। ठीक है, सो ये अलग अलग हो जाएगा, इसका क्राइटेरिया अलग और उसका क्राइटेरिया अलग। यहाँ पे जाएंगे, यहाँ पे शेड्यूल्स इसका निकालेंगे और इसको हम यस बोलेंगे। तो ये अगर ये सब भर दिया आपने तो ये यहाँ पे इसमें कुछ पैरामीटर्स आएंगे, आप पैरामीटर डालेंगे तो यहाँ पे ऐड हो जाएगा वो, तो उसको आप स्टील टेक ऑफ नाम दे सकते हैं। सो आपको पास कंक्रीट का सेपरेट और स्टील का सेपरेट रहेगा। सो ये आप प्रैक्टिस करो, ठीक है। आप दो तीन अलग अलग टेक ऑफ निकालो, अगर आपको कुछ डाउट्स कुछ क्वेरी है तो आप मुझे बता सकते हैं।
सर एक पहली क्लास का पूछना था, जो हम लोग ग्रिड और एलिवेशन सेट करते हैं।
हम्म।
तो जैसे मैंने प्लान फर्स्ट ग्राउंड फ्लोर पे मैंने ग्रिड लगाया और एलिवेशन लगाया, तो वो पूरे सभी फ्लोर पे
सभी फ्लोर पे आते हैं, बराबर।
फ्लोर पे सर सेट नहीं होता है, आता है लेकिन वो डिस्टर्ब रहता है, उसको सेट करना पड़ता है। जैसे
अलग अलग।
हाँ, एलिवेशन जैसे आगे पीछे लाइन है तो उसको सेट करना पड़ता है, क्या ऐसा कैसे?
हाँ, तो उसमें क्या है, अगर इसको सिलेक्ट किया सो ये अभी 3D है, ठीक है। सो इसको अगर मैंने ऐसा सेट किया तो ये ऑटोमेटिक सब जगह पे एक ही जगह पे सेट हो जाएगा। अगर ये 2D है, अगर इसको मैंने यहाँ पे सेट किया तो खाली ये यहीं पे चेंज हो जाएगा। सो अगर आपको करना है तो इसको 3D में कन्वर्ट करो और चेंज कर दो, फिर बाकी जगह पे सेम आ जाएगा। ये 3D का, सॉरी, ये कैसा 3D है, ये 3D पे कर दो। मेरे इस पे क्यों नहीं हो रहा है इसको, सॉरी। आपके इसमें चेक करो, उस पे 2D पे क्लिक किया ना आपने, सो 3D कन्वर्ट हो जाता है।
ये तो सर मैंने ये आपने सेट किया।
ये देखो ये 3D हो गया।
ईस्ट वाले पे है सेक्शन पे एलिवेशन पे, अभी नॉर्थ पे हम जाएंगे तो नॉर्थ पे नहीं सेट होगा, दूसरा कुछ दिखा है।
नहीं नहीं, ये देखो ये हो गया ना सेट मेरा,
अच्छा।
साउथ में भी हो गया। तो वही बात मैं बोल रहा हूँ, ये जो है ना, ये देखो, ये आप, ये मेरा अभी 3D है, तो ये
हम्म,
मैंने अगर इधर सेट किया पूरा ऐसा, तो ये हर जगह पे हो जाएगा। ये देखो ये यहाँ की, फिर यहाँ पे हो गया, अलग
हम्म,
अलग दिख रहा है ना। अगर
हम्म,
आपको एक ही जगह चाहिए तो इसको 2D करो, तो ये आप यहाँ पे दे सकते। इसको भी अगर 2D करो तो ये चेंजेस खाली इधर ही होंगे, इधर नहीं होंगे।
हाँ यही चीज चाहिए।
सिमिलर ग्रिड लाइन का भी वैसा ही है। अगर आप फर्स्ट फ्लोर पे कुछ 3D में चेंजेस करते हैं, वो सेकंड थर्ड फोर्थ में सेम ग्रिड लाइंस आएंगे, सेम लोकेशन पे। अगर आपको एक ही जगह करना है तो उसको 3D से 2D करना है।
ओके सर।
ठीक है।
ठीक है सर, समझ गया।
सर सर मान लीजिए कोई मेंबर लोड फैमिली में नहीं दे रखा है, तो
हम्म।
उसको लाइब्रेरी में भी नहीं है, तो वो कैसे लिया जा सकता है? उसको डाउनलोड वगैरह कहीं से करना पड़ेगा या
कौन
क्या
सा
करना
मेंबर
पड़ेगा?
नहीं दिया है?
मान लीजिए एलएचएस या सेक्शन में जो दे रखा है, हमने ले रखा है आई
हम्म।
सेक्शंस वगैरह में, तो
हम्म।
उसके लिए सर मैं पूछ रहा हूँ स्टील
देखो
टेबल से
अभी
जैसे।
ये जो लाइब्रेरी है ना, ये अपना जितना भी स्ट्रक्चरल इंजीनियरिंग में जितने भी शेप्स है उतने सभी दिए हैं। अगर नहीं दिया है तो फिर आपको क्रिएट करना पड़ेगा, यहाँ पे स्ट्रक्चर में जाके ये मॉडल इन प्लेस में डालना पड़ेगा उसको। वो हमने किया है ना शुरू में।
हाँ
अगर
हाँ
शेप
सर।
कोड अगर नहीं है तो मॉडल इन प्लेस में करना है, और उसको आपको असाइन करना है मटेरियल, स्टील का, स्टील का है स्टील का, कंक्रीट का है कंक्रीट का।
उसको फिर असाइन करके तब फिर डालना पड़ेगा।
बराबर।
डाउनलोड का कोई ऑप्शन नहीं है मतलब कोई ऐसा?
डाउनलोड क्या करेंगे आप, सभी तो शेप कोड दिए है ना यहाँ पे। एल शेप दिया है, आई सेक्शन दिया है, एसएचएस दिया है, सब भी।
सर आई आई सेक्शन जो दे रखा है वो सर अनइक्वल मेंबर का दे रखा है, इक्वल मेंबर का दे उस, लेकिन आपने बना लिया था इसमें, बट अनइक्वल मेंबर का दे रखा है, इक्वल मेंबर का नहीं दे रखा है सर
सब
इसमें।
सब दे रखा है। अगर आप यहाँ पे जाओगे ना लोड फैमिली, तो यहाँ पे अगर जाओगे आप स्ट्रक्चरल फ्रेमिंग, ठीक है, यहाँ पे स्टील में गया मैं, यहाँ पे फिर यहाँ पे ये देखो HSS है, इक्वल अनइक्वल RHS है, और इक्वल भी दिखाता हूँ मैं आपको यहाँ पे। एक मिनट, ये इंडिया पे देखता हूँ। PFC है,
सही कह रहा है।
PFC, ये देखो चैनल्स, आई सेक्शन, HSS राउंड, ये देखो ये इक्वल आ गया बराबर।
यस
इसके
सर।
बाद आ गया अनइक्वल, उसके बाद आ गए शेप्स, उसके बाद आ गए AMC। ओके, सो ये पूरा उन्होंने उस हिसाब से ही किया है क्या, ऐसा कौन सा ही शेप उन्होंने छोड़ा नहीं है। अभी ये देखो ये C
कॉलम
है।
तो हम लोग क्या फ्लिप से बनाएंगे?
क्या
टेपर्ड कॉलम जो रहेंगे हम लोग के स्टील के, वो स्ट्रिप से बनाएंगे फिर हम लोग।
टेपर्ड
और
कॉलम, यस, सो अपना वो जो हमने का इसमें देखा ना, उससे बनाएंगे ये। अभी यहाँ पे आ जाएंगे आप स्ट्रक्चरल, तो इसमें मॉडल इन प्लेसमेंट होता है। सो उसमें हमने देखा था नीचे का छोटा पार्ट और ऊपर का बड़ा पार्ट, तो ऐसा ऐसा होता है ना वो।
हाँ,
तो वो शेप से बनाना पड़ेगा आपको।
मटेरियल असाइन कर देंगे उसके बाद।
इसको एग्जैक्टली स्टील का मटेरियल असाइन करेंगे। सो नीचे का आई सेक्शन का साइज आपको कंफर्म करना है कितना है, ठीक है। फिर ऊपर का जो आई सेक्शन का साइज है वो आपको कंफर्म करना है। फिर ये नीचे का पॉइंट देना है, ये ऊपर का पॉइंट देना है, फिर ये बराबर इसको ज्वाइन हो जाएगा, इसमें टेपर्ड आ जाएगा।
ठीक है, ठीक।
सो ये शेप आपका इधर आ जाएगा और ये शेप आपका इधर आ जाएगा। तो उस हिसाब से वो बराबर करेगा। आपका जो नोड पॉइंट है वो सेम होना चाहिए दोनों का, ये और इसका ये होना चाहिए। आप जब सिलेक्ट करोगे ना, तो आपको वो पॉइंट देना है, ठीक है।
ओके सर।
चलेगा फिर। हाँ, अब नेक्स्ट सेशन 13 को है, सो उसमें हम देखेंगे कोऑर्डिनेशन कैसे करते हैं, और ये हमारा लास्ट सेशन होगा। मीनवाइल आपके कुछ भी डाउट्स वगैरह है तो वो लिख के लो, हम डिस्कस करेंगे उसमें। ओके,
ओके सर।
गुड नाइट।
ओके सर, गुड नाइट।
गुड नाइट।
गुड नाईट.
साहेब, तुम्ही काही सांगता त्याप्रमाणे प्रेसिडेंट हा गुटरू आहे.
हा
गुटरू आहे.
हो हो हो.
तुम्ही प्रेसिडेंट म्हणा. तर गुटरूला बघितलं सांगितलंय
पक्का यायला
काय